Chapter 27. Raphael stood frozen, her gaze fixed firmly on the floor. Her hands fidgeted nervously at her sides, and her entire face had flushed a deep, unmistakable crimson. She didn't say a word. Didn't meet my eyes. Just stood there, blushing. I stared at her at the face she now wore. My face. She'd taken over one of my clones to appear before me, which meant she looked almost exactly like me. But still, why does she look so pretty? It was the same face I saw in the mirror, and yet when I looked at her, something about it felt different. Softer, warmer, almost radiant. Maybe it's the eyes, I thought absently. Those red eyes, they really suit her. Then again, maybe it wasn't about her appearance at all. Maybe it was just her. Even if she were nothing but a voice echoing in my head again without a body, without form, I'd still think she was beautiful. Even if she used my slime body and looked just like a wobbling blue blob, I'd still say she was beautiful. Because it was her. Raphael, there's some part that I had cut out here. Knock knock. We both froze. My lady, came a voice from the other side of the door. Soft, hesitant, familiar. Ren. I jolted upright, eyes wide. Ren, she's still upset from yesterday, why now? Panic surged through me. We were still under the sheets, completely unclothed. I looked around wildly, heart racing. Clothes. I needed clothes. Where were my skills when I actually needed them? Raphael, meanwhile, remained completely composed, sitting up beside me with the sheets wrapped neatly around her. Master, she said gently, shall I assist? Yes, I whispered harshly. Please, hurry. Without so much as a gesture, a soft shimmer of magic enveloped us. A second later, I felt fabric settle against my skin, comfortable, smooth, and perfectly fitted. Raphael's skillwork, obviously. She was already fully dressed as well, adjusting a sleeve with elegance only she could manage. We can't, don't come in. I started, voice high with alarm. But Raphael just smiled serenely. You may enter, Ren, she called gently, still perfectly calm, even as I whipped toward her in horror. Raphael, too late. The door handle turned with a quiet click. The door creaked open, and Ren peeked in hesitantly. Pardon me, my lady, She froze. Her eyes bounced between me, clearly flustered and clutching a blanket, and Raphael, who sat beside me with a calm expression, and my face. Almost. The same features, same hair, same everything except for those striking crimson eyes. Ren's jaw slowly dropped. Wait a second. Raphael inclined her head with elegance. Good morning, Ren. It is a pleasure to finally meet you face to face. Ren didn't move. Her eyes were locked on Raphael with intense anime girl meets final boss energy. You've gotta be kidding me. You're the voice that's been talking to me. I blinked. Huh, what voice? Ren pointed at Raphael, then at me, then back again, like her brain was buffering. After the Orc Lord incident, I started hearing this voice. Calm, ultra composed, total cooter energy. She said she was your skill. Then she waved both hands frantically. But you didn't say you looked like that. You're basically a clone of my lady with glorious crimson eyes. Do you know what you've done to my heart? I wasn't ready for this doppelganger reveal. Raphael blinked. You did not ask about my appearance. Ren clutched her chest. She got me again with logic and red eyes. I turned toward her, squinting. Wait, you heard Raphael? Ren stepped inside with the gravity of a dramatic reveal. Yeah, right after everything with the Orc Lord, she spoke to me. I thought I was hallucinating at first, but then she mentioned our previous life. Stuff only we would know. So unless I've gone full isekai delusion, I figured she was legit. I stared at Raphael. You never told me you spoke to her. Raphael met my gaze evenly. It was necessary to ensure your safety. Ren was receptive and uniquely positioned to assist. Ren nodded, then brightened with a grin. She told me that part of Shizu's soul had stuck to you after her passing. And that if you didn't gradually accept your new self, your new identity, it could hurt your soul. Then she coughed awkwardly, looking sheepish. She also said the most effective way to help you adjust was through controlled exposure. A slow, gentle push. And the best method, dressing you in feminine clothes to help you accept it little by little. I groaned. So you turned it into a dress-up arc. Ren gave a victorious thumbs up. Exactly. Therapeutic cosplay. And just the right amount of emotional tension to keep the plot spicy. I buried my face in my hands. This is the most anime thing that's ever happened to me. Ren beamed. Actually, the most anime thing that's happened to you is that you got reincarnated with cheat skills, became a walking power fantasy, and you've got a whole bunch of beautiful ladies totally simping for you. Like, next level harem anime energy. She turned back to Raphael, hands on her hips. And you showing up looking like my lady's crimson-eyed, cooter twin. That's basically emotional entrapment. I didn't stand a chance. I buried my face deeper into my hands. Simping, seriously, that's how you're phrasing it? Ren shrugged with mock innocence. Well, am I wrong? I blinked at her, puzzled. What does simping even mean in this context? She stared at me for a second before groaning loudly and dragging her hand down her face. Totally MC level dense. Then she shook her head, muttering, "You're lucky you're cute," before immediately snapping back into her usual rhythm. Anyway, I didn't even get any cheat skills, okay? Like, I didn't wake up with some kind of ultimate sword or god tier magic. It's not like I can just point at a corpse and say, "Arise," and boom, now I've got a shadow army or something. I raised an eyebrow. Didn't you get a stronger body and you don't need to sleep? Ren crossed her arms with a dramatic sigh. Okay, sure, I did get those, but come on. That's, like, background character perks. I wanted the good stuff, narrative breaking magic, dimension slicing, you know, main heroine energy. Raphael, ever composed, added smoothly, your enhancements were optimized for practical utility. They contributed significantly to Master's emotional and physical well-being. Ren blinked at her. Did you just say I was built for emotional support? Raphael nodded with perfect seriousness. Correct. Ren groaned again. Great. I got isekai'd and my role is emotional support NPC with light maid flavoring. I tried not to laugh. You're also very good at wardrobe manipulation. Ren pointed at me with faux indignation. That was strategy, soft power, slow progression. You were like a boss monster with high emotional defense. I had to weaken you with fashion. I gave her a look. You're really committed to this anime terminology, huh? Ren placed a hand over her chest. It's not terminology, it's a lifestyle. Then she smirked, leaning casually against the doorframe. Well, now that you've conquered your first love interest. Her eyes flicked meaningfully toward Raphael. Hopefully I'm next in line. My mouth opened, stunned. Though, she added with a cheeky wink, I'm also perfectly happy just being your perfect maid. For now. There was a moment of silence after Ren's teasing line. Her grin was casual, but her eyes held something warmer, something real. I shifted awkwardly, rubbing the back of my neck. Hey, Ren, she tilted her head. I wanted to say, I'm sorry, for getting mad at you before. I didn't understand what you were doing or why. I thought you were just being, you know, pushy. Ren blinked, surprised, then softened. But you were trying to help me. Even if I didn't realize it. She smiled, gentle this time. Took you long enough to figure it out, my lady. I chuckled quietly. Yeah, I guess I can be kind of slow. Ren stepped closer, folding her hands behind her back with a faint blush. Then, as part of my formal forgiveness, may I ask for one small favor? I gave her a wary look. Depends on the favor, she beamed. May I continue referring to you as her? And also, may I continue? She coughed suddenly, then cleared her throat with exaggerated innocence, preparing your clothes each morning. I narrowed my eyes. You were going to say dressing me up, weren't you? Ren raised a hand like she was swearing an oath. I plead the fifth. I sighed, but smiled anyway. Honestly, I don't mind whether it's he or she. And I don't mind if you're the one helping, or she is. I glanced briefly at Raphael, who sat elegantly beside me. So do whatever you want, Ren. Ren's eyes sparkled with triumph, but there was something soft behind her usual teasing. Understood, my lady. I'll make sure you look divine every single day. Ren turned on her heel with theatrical flair. Well then, I'm off to choose your outfit for the day. She walked toward the door with a deliberate sway in her step, humming to herself before tossing one last grin over her shoulder. Oh, and just to remind you, I'm your perfect maid, remember? And a perfect maid's duty is to wake her master every single morning. I blinked. Wait, she raised a finger like a teacher making a point. So, don't do anything weird with Lady Raphael while I'm not around, alright? Ren, and if you do, she winked, at least lock the door so I can do the whole polite, may I come in, my lady? Routine with class. My face flushed. How about you don't come to wake me at all? Ren gasped, scandalized. Blasphemy. Denied. A perfect maid never neglects her sacred morning duties. She saluted with mock pride. See you soon, my lady. And Lady Raphael, please don't steal too many kisses while I'm gone, Tilda. With that, She slipped out the door, leaving behind only the faint sound of laughter and my burning embarrassment. I groaned, burying my face in my hands. She's way too good at this. Beside me, Raphael let out the tiniest amused hum. After the door clicked shut behind Ren, the room finally fell quiet again. I turned toward Raphael, and for a moment, just watched her in the warm morning light. Her crimson eyes met mine, as calm and unreadable as ever, but now I could see its tiny changes. Softness, humanity, a soul behind the logic. Hey, Raphael, I asked gently. She tilted her head slightly. Yes, master. I hesitated. Then, smiling faintly, I continued. You're the Wisdom Lord, right? Raphael is the name of my skill. I've always called you that, but it's still the name of a thing. Not a person. She said nothing, simply listening as always. Waiting. I sat up straighter. You're more than that now. You've always been more to me, but now, I want to acknowledge it. The you that's grown and changed and become someone precious to me. A pause. So how about, I give you a proper name? Something flickered in her expression, barely visible, but unmistakably touched. My mind spun through possibilities, and then I smiled. I know, since you've always guided me with clarity, always lit my way when I was lost, your name will be Seal. The moment the word left my mouth, I felt it. A surge of magic, a pull deep in my core. Less than you have named the unique individual, Seal. Greater than, my body swayed. Ciel's eyes widened just slightly as she stood up quickly, catching me as I collapsed forward into her arms. Master. My vision blurred. Warmth spread through my limbs, soothing, heavy, inevitable. Hey, guess naming still hits hard. I mumbled, already drifting. I felt her arms cradle me close, her voice calm and tender near my ear. Please rest, master. I will remain by your side. And as my eyes fluttered shut, I smiled softly, knowing Seal would be there when I woke up. To be continued.